Welcome to Wildcat Sports Update. I'm your host, Jim Boyle, and today in studio I have the 2025 Spring Girls Tennis Captains with me. And let's introduce them around. First, we've got Shubhangi, Tripathi, and Jaslene, Ryou, and over there is Savannah Beatrice. So let's go around the room and just introduce yourselves and just a couple brief words of how long you play tennis and what your role is. Shubhangi.
Hi everyone, my name is Shubhangi. I've been playing tennis since 7th grade, since COVID, and I'm a senior on the tennis team.
Okay, Jaslene?
I'm Jaslene. I've started playing tennis in the beginning of 5th grade, and I play third singles on the team.
And Savannah?
I'm Savannah, and I've been playing since I was 5, and I play singles.
Okay, so welcome here. You guys were all part of the 2024 Freedom Division Championship tennis team, so congratulations on that. From me, it's a great accomplishment. We don't get a lot of championship teams at Wilmington High School, especially in the Middlesex League. So, Shubhangi, I'm going to start with you. What do you see your role as a captain on the tennis team?
I think definitely as like a senior captain, it's just supporting the team, especially because we get lots of incoming freshmen every single year. So it's really just supporting the team, making sure we're doing well, and like even Coach Woods is like the only coach too on the team. So like making sure everyone's doing well, they understand what they're doing and what jobs they have on the team.
Okay, Jaslene, how do you see your role?
Like Shubhangi was saying, like we get a big group of incoming freshmen every year, and Coach Woods is the only coach on the team. So like being captains, we try to help her like get the freshmen to understand at least the basics of the game, like the serves and then the basic ground strokes. And then as a captain, kind of like encouraging everyone, like words of like motivation, like keeping everyone's spirits high and everything.
Excellent. And Savannah, you're a sophomore captain, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How do you see your role as a young player on the team? How do you see your role as a captain of everyone?
I just think that it doesn't matter how old you are, like as long as you have like the maturity level, to be able to show everyone like what to do at practice and how to behave and just how to be a team.
Perfect. Now, all you three have been to Captain's Council. Our AD, Dennis Ingram, has created what he calls a Captain's Council to try to give you guys a little bit more leadership training and the like. So we're going to go around the room, start with you, Savannah. You get the easy one because you're the first one to go. What's something you've taken away from the AD's Captain's Council?
When we go away for any games or anything, it's just like showing, you need to like tell your team that you're representing your town, and whatever you do or say, that's how other schools are going to view your school. Like I feel like the sports are very like representative of your school, so it's just like showing how you guys behave.
Okay, Jaslene.
We talked about for the captain's council, the meeting, how like perseverance kind of matters, and at least in tennis, like matches can get long, so you need to have a lot of like perseverance and like persevere through your match, like the difficulties, try to improve what you're doing and playing.
You know, Shubhangi, you got the hard part because everyone's answering you. I know you've been to the I'm going to ask you a little bit different. How do you see Captain's Council in helping you to become a better captain?
I think it really emphasized like the personal, like the strong mentality you need to have. So I know he was going over things like box breathing, and he also showed like videos of different like different tennis players, and how they like mentally persevere. So he showed like Novak, and how like he like what types of things he does on the court that keeps him mentally strong.
Okay, so if I look around the room, you think the Captain's Council has been very beneficial to everyone? Okay, good. We'll go back here, Shubhangi. Tennis is a very individual sport, we know, but it's an individual sport played as a team. So I'm going to ask all three of you, I'm sure the team goal was to make back to the tournament and win the division. So what are your individual goals going through for as a tennis player? I don't know if you play doubles or singles, but we'll go right around the room for your individual goals. You go first, Shubhangi.
I think personally my goal is just to win and do the best I can for the team. I think our team especially, it's a lot like it's both a group effort and an individual effort, because each of our wins count towards the greater good of the team. So I think my goal was just to win.
Okay, and are you the number 2 player?
No, so I'm plays first doubles currently.
First doubles, okay. Jaslene, you play
I
third
play third
singles.
singles,
Okay,
yes.
so individual goal, and how does that contribute to the team goal?
Individually, I would also like to win because it would go through the group's efforts to get like a team win. But for at least the bigger towns like Winchester and Lexington, they're tough. So maybe just trying to win like a couple of points within the match, even if I don't win the entire game itself. I think.
Good. And Savannah, you're the number one singles player, so you get to play all the tough players, I'm sure. What's your individual goal for the year, and how does that relate to making the team better?
So as Jaslene said, like playing the bigger schools, just getting more games than I did last year, which I did. I think we all did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got a lot more games than we did on them last year, which I thought was good. And for the team, I just think like, I don't know, all of us contributing our wins for each match.
Okay, I'm going to stick with you since you're number one player. Does that mean, how do you make it to the state tournament? Anybody, the singles tournament, do you have to win a certain amount of games, or just one person from our team goes? Do you know how that works?
We didn't do that. We didn't have that.
No?
No.
Okay, so
I think they used to do that, but we didn't have that last year.
they don't do that anymore.
I
just must be an
I
old
wish
man.
they did,
It's
but-
a long time ago, an old man. But it's the state tournament. Then is the whole team going to the tournament?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to stick with you, Savannah. One thing I find as a coach, the kids love music on the bus and team dinners. So first of all, I'm going to ask you as a captain, do you guys have team dinners, and do you have music on the bus?
So we don't really have team dinners, but sometimes like after a match we'll go out to eat or something, and normally we mix with the boys team. I don't know, just have fun. But last year we had a few. Music, we don't really have music. We all kind of just do our own thing.
Okay, so there's nobody who's playing music on the bus?
No, but their bus drivers kind of like blast their music for some reason.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's true.
So we have to listen to
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Jaslene, after match meals, what's the best one you've had?
This year we've Chipotle, definitely Chipotle, because we were also supporting my class, because class of 2026 had a fundraiser at Chipotle after, and it was the night before our first game, so we ended up going to Chipotle. We like celebrated our like in hopes of winning like the first match. So
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And Shubhangi, what music do the bus drivers play that you get to listen to? Just curious.
I usually just pop in my AirPods.
It's like random radio music.
So how many players go to an away match? The whole team goes. So both varsity and JV.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do the boys travel with you?
no.
No, which is probably good. What's your favorite post game meal when you go as a team? Can't say Chipotle because we already had that one.
We haven't had many. I think Chipotle was like the only one
The only
we've
one?
had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
A
had
few of
a
us went to
choice,
Frango's, but
Franco's.
yeah.
Everybody seems like Franco's.
Yeah.
In this place.
Mhm.
Okay, to go off of that, I just want to give I don't know how many players that you have on the team, but I want to try to get a rundown. Let's try to get a shout out to everybody who's plays on the team. So we're going to go right through the room. Savannah, you want to start first, and then we'll come back through. We'll go sophomore, junior, senior. Do all the freshmen and sophomores, or at least that play? Do you have that for me? Put you on the spot, or do you want to go with Shubhangi first?
She can go first.
All right.
Okay.
So why don't you roll off as many players as you can,
Kara. For like full name.
if you know them.
Oh.
Just give
I'll
first
say
names.
first name. Okay. Kara, Sabrina, Gabby, Veronica, Dia, Sahana. Yeah, that's all I got.
Jaslene, anybody else?
Like for the freshmen, it's like Jill, Sahana, Dia, Advaita, Ayana, Jasmine, and then did you miss?
The only sophomores are me and Allie,
Oh yeah,
and then juniors it's what, just like you,
me, Lexi,
Grace,
Maddie,
And then seniors.
Sabrina, Veronica, Shubhangi,
And Gabby.
and
Gabby.
Gabby.
That's it.
Okay, so we got them all. That's great.
Yeah.
And next thing I want to transition to is for all three. We talked a little bit about winning the Freedom Division last year. I just want to ask you on a personal level, what was that like for you when you found out that you won, and how did that motivate you to try to be even better this year? We'll start with you, Shubhangi.
Well, my freshman year, we had like one win, so it was a really big like difference. And I was just really proud of the team for getting that far, and I think it motivated me further to do better this year. And get further in the game.
Excellent. Jaslene?
It was really exciting because the tennis program, it wasn't really well known, but then once we got that like title, it was like Miss Woods was saying that we've had like fans who wanted to like see our games and everything, and I thought that was just like a big difference, and it just made me like feel like really happy.
Okay, and Savannah?
So since it was my first year, I didn't really know what I was like going into, but I knew that like they hadn't really done well in the past, so like I was not surprised, but we did really well last season, so I was like looking forward to it.
Good. And then Savannah, what do you consider the strengths of this year's team? First, second, third singles, doubles, depth, whatever. How do you?
We have a really different lineup than we did last year, but we have a really young team, so I think that for the years coming, like we'll still be around like the same level of playing. But do you want like what do you want?
No, that's good. That's a good enough answer.
Okay.
We'll move on. We'll go to Jaslene. I don't want to use the word weakness because it's not fair to a high school athlete to say weakness, but where do you feel over the course of the next couple of weeks you guys need to get stronger and better and improve on?
Maybe like communication, because at least for singles you play alone, but for doubles, like communication is like really important because like one person has to go for the ball and you have to talk in the middle of the game. So I feel like maybe that, like everyone's close with one another, but while you're playing, it's kind of different. So I think maybe that.
Okay. And Shubhangi, the question for you is going to be, how's the year going so far? And what are how's the year going so far? And what are you expecting as we go forward? So what's the record? How's it gone? What are we expecting to go forward?
I think the year's going pretty good so far, besides Jasmine being out for 4 games. But I think we held up strong and we did our best. But I think moving forward, I think definitely more of like we need to work on like the team bonding especially. I know because I play doubles and I didn't realize how much like you have to know your partner in doubles. And for second doubles, we're always switching up who's playing with who. So really getting that team bonding down so we can better make our doubles teams stronger. And I know our singles are solid, so I think they're doing good.
Okay, question for anyone to answer. Who is the biggest competition in the Middlesex Freedom Division?
Lexington.
That's
in
our
like
division. Burlington, Melrose, Watertown, Wakefield, and Stoneham. Who would be the competition for you in that division?
I wasn't here for Melrose, but were they? Like I saw the score.
We've only played. Who have we played?
Melrose. We've played. Well, I was out for like.
I know.
Okay.
We've only played Melrose, like I think because we've been playing all the big D1 schools.
Okay, gotcha.
So we only won 3-2. So it was a more of a battle than it was last year. So I think that'll probably be our roughest. And Burlington's pretty good.
Burlington, I think will be close.
Yeah.
I like how you said you only won 3-2. Well, if you lost 2-3, it wouldn't be only lost. So you won. So take credit for the wins.
I know, yeah.
You know, the wins come. They're good. I want to transition a little bit to coaching. I don't know. I coach at the high school as an assistant on the baseball team, and I like to ask all the student athletes this specific question. It makes me a better coach. It helps me understand the mindset of different athletes. So we're going to start with you, Savannah. What one piece of advice would you give a high school coach? Doesn't have to be your tennis coach, doesn't have to be Jim Boyle, the baseball coach. Just what one piece of advice would you give a coach to help make them a better coach? We'll go with you first, Savannah.
I would just say to motivate your team like the best you can and don't get down on your players, because once you put that negative mindset into them, like they're like I've played club softball, club tennis, so I know I've been through like a lot of coaches, and like I've definitely gotten better from coaches who aren't so negative towards their players, even if they don't do good one day. Like they always need to find the best in them.
Okay, good answer. Jaslene?
I would say the same. Like motivation is really important. Positive feedback, like giving feedback, like how you can improve throughout the game, but making it seem not so negative that it makes the mindset of the player kind of go down. Like positive.
Excellent. And Shubhangi?
Like the same thing as everyone else said. Like even like when they're at during a game, even when they're like at their lowest, like going there and just supporting them and giving them positive feedback is really helpful.
Okay. That will be taken back to my baseball team. And hopefully I can give positive feedback when I do constructive criticism. That's a great answer from you guys. The next question is, Coach Woods has been the coach. This is our 3rd year, I think.
Yeah.
So I just want to start with you, Shubhangi. What have you learned over the course of the years from Coach Woods? What are you going to take away, not just about tennis, but just in general, in something in skills that she taught you?
Definitely endurance. She does a lot of endurance training. And I don't really like running or like doing like her endurance training, but it's definitely made me better on the court, especially.
Okay, Jaslene?
Definitely, she's big on like stretching, the running, the cardio. So definitely that. She's also just like a really happy, like motivating person herself. So it like kind of spreads out on the team too. So she spreads like positive energy.
Okay, Savannah?
Yeah, she's just a really good person, and she's never negative. Like, even if our team maybe not be doing so well, she's just very like uplifting, and you just always want to be around her.
Great. Those are great answers, and it's a very good reflection on Coach Woods as a coach, that she's that impact on you guys, and I appreciate those comments. Next I want to talk about growing the program. Somebody said earlier that we usually have a ton of freshmen come out.
Yeah.
So it seems like the program is growing. I'll start with Savannah since you're the youngest. What do you see as the way to keep growing the program and keep getting girls to keep playing tennis in the spring?
So I know a lot of the freshmen, they like all encourage their friends, like even if they never played before, they're all like a big group of friends, so they all just came. Like I know my grade, like we only had 3 people last year, I think, so we didn't really do a good job at that, but they just like all got their friends to play.
Okay, so that's it. Jaslene, how about you? Is there going to the middle school, talking to kids? We do not have a youth program, I don't think, in town.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your ideas how we can continue to grow the program?
I feel like, yeah, since tennis isn't that like well known of a sport, I feel like it's one of like the less known. So I think like spreading the word around, and for the people who like don't do sports or want to like get into it, kind of like explaining like the basics and like telling them like it's like a fun community or like a group to be around. So I think spreading like positive things about tennis, I think would bring in more people.
Okay, Shubhangi?
Just going off what everyone said, just like having your friends join, and it just makes the team better, and I think it's just funner when you have friends on the team, so like getting people who you know and want on the team to join.
Okay, good. Now, the next question is for all three. We're going to start with you, Shubhangi. I'm a father, I'm not anymore, but say I was the father of a 5th grader or a 4th grader, somebody in middle school, who's thinking about maybe picking up a tennis racket and playing tennis. What advice would you give to the child? If you talk to the 4th grader, if you went over and said, what would you tell them, and what advice would you give the parent as well? Shubhangi, you're first.
I say definitely join like a club, or like even just go out on afternoons with like friends or family and just practice. And I think just like see if you like the sport or not. And tennis is I enjoyed it, so I just played a lot with my brother, and then we got into club tennis. So like just gradually building that interest up until you get to high school, and then you can choose if you'd like to join the team or not.
Okay, Jaslene?
Yeah, definitely if you're starting out, practice is very important. And I would say even if it like doesn't turn out the way that you want, like if you can't like hit a ball and you keep missing, don't get too down, because eventually with practice you will get better. So
okay, and Savannah?
Yeah, I would just say you need a lot of motivation, because this is like a kind of sport where like you really need to practice, and you can't just like start one day and like be great, you know. So you need to really put the motivation in, and you can't just because the one day you start, like you're not playing how you think you would. You really need the motivation to do that.
Okay, so somebody mentioned club. I want a show of hands. How many people played club of the three? Did all three of you play club? Raise hands. Everybody did?
Yeah.
Okay, so Savannah, when did you start playing club?
Well, when I first started, I started at Uber Racket Club, just with a coach.
Okay.
But I didn't start playing on a team till I was like 9 or 10, I think.
Okay, what motivated you to start? What was the push?
My grandmother.
Okay, good. Jaslene, how about you?
I started at Spark. It was called Cedardale. It's in Andover, but it got changed to Spark. And then I switched over to Woburn because everyone was like playing there.
Yeah, our whole team plays there now.
Okay.
And then also like our competition. Also, like you get to like meet everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you started?
Maybe like 9th grade, like beginning of high school.
So you did club. Did you find that club helps you along the way? Get to play different players?
It's definitely more like personalized, I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not just go out, pick up a racket, and go down to high school and play tennis. Is that,
Yeah,
is that
no.
another way to do it?
I
Or is
think
it better to go to the club because it'll give you more of a...
I think it's better to go just because you get more like personalized feedback, and then also like the coach's attention is like kind of on you.
Okay.
So yeah,
Excellent.
I think you can improve.
And Shubhangi?
I started playing at Willows in 9th grade for a few years, and that's how I kind of got started.
Okay, and your brother, you said he played last year,
Yes.
correct? And did he start younger or older?
Yeah, he started younger. I think he started in 8th grade, and then I kind of just joined it.
And you guys played, who's better, you or your brother?
My brother.
Okay. If you play like the doubles side, we can beat him, right?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. And then that's great to hear. And finally, if there's, like I said, if you're going to say something to the parent, what would you tell the parent of the young child? But not just club, but what's fun about it? What can they take out of it, Mr. Bungie?
I think tennis is a lifelong sport, so definitely just supporting them early on in order to get into the sport at first, and like motivating them and like supporting their needs.
That is an excellent answer.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong sport.
It is. Yeah.
That's really good to hear.
I saw that
So now comes my favorite portion of the program, where I get to ask you guys some more personalized questions, so we get to know the student athletes at Wilmington High School. So we're going to right around the room. Shubhangi, you're going to go first, then Jaslene, and then for Savannah, you get to sit in the tough chair. You get to go last.
That's
But,
okay.
I will ask. There'll be some specific questions, and because you're a senior, you're going to get a few extras, Shubhangi. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. First question: former or present or former tennis teammate who you learned the most from?
I think Julia Kate.
Okay, and what was the takeaway?
She was just really supportive when I came on the team, and she really helped. Like my freshman year, she really helped me like adapt to the team.
Okay, other sports and/or activities you do at the high school?
I do DECA. I do. Well, I'm a dual enrollment student, so I'm not really part of the high school anymore. But yeah, I'd say like DECA is the only one that I'm still really part of.
All right, and what are your favorite tennis moments all time? Since you played for high school, is something that stood out to you in tennis?
I think last year, our game for to get to the top 4, I think that was a memorable moment for me, especially because it was like 3 hours and I was really burnt out, but I really wanted to win, and the team was really supportive. So.
Okay, the next one's about influences and coaches. And is there somebody that you look up to and you try to model your game after?
I think definitely Savannah and Jaslene. They're a lot better than me, so I'm always looking towards like how to improve myself by like looking at how they play, how they strategize.
Excellent. And who are your influences? Who are your tennis influences?
My brother, he's, I think he's always like wants me to become better, and he's always helped me do that. Especially like on the weekends, he's always telling me like, let's go play, let's go, and he's always like trying to teach me new skills. So he definitely influences me a lot.
Okay, are there any coaches in the past or even now that you would like to give credit to that helps you?
Definitely Mr. Hackett, Coach Woods, and then Igor at Willows.
Okay, and walk-up song. If we're getting ready to come out, the doubles team's coming out. What is there a song that you want to be playing on the speakers? Like for senior day, maybe when we do senior day.
I don't really have a specific song. I don't really have one.
That's fine. I've had all sorts of athletes who didn't have songs, scrolling their phones before they go. You have the tough job going first. There's something that you learned from athletics, from tennis, that you can apply to the classroom.
Definitely perseverance, especially like with tennis, you have to have a strong mentality. So taking that into the classroom of always like, no matter how hard a class gets, always like going to extra hours, studying for those classes, communicating with your teachers about them. So like definitely the perseverance side.
Excellent. What are you going to miss the most about high school tennis?
I'm going to miss my teammates a lot. They make the tennis team what it is, and they always empower me to do better, and it motivates me to go to tennis so I'll miss them.
And what is the future for Shubhangi?
I'm currently, I'm set on going to UMass Amherst for accounting and finance.
Okay, excellent. And we'll come back out for your shadow later. Jaslene, you're next on the firing line. Present or former teammate that really you like credit that's helped you that's helped you learn more.
For present, Shubhangi, I've known her at least the most, and like I met my freshman year. I remember we played like a challenge match kind of thing. Like we like played with one another, and we're neighbors too. So we hit together, and I think it's just always like a good time with Shubhangi.
Excellent. And other sports and or activities you do at Wilmington High School?
I'm also a part of DECA, and then like World Cultures Club, Asian Heritage Club, 9/11 Memorial Committee.
Excellent. And favorite moments tennis-wise? What are your top moments?
Definitely top moment for me was the top 4 for our division last year when we made top 4. We played in Lexington, so also they have like a ton of courts. So, and then I remember like everyone was like watching, like their track team was there, like our coaches, their teammates. I thought it was just really exciting to have gotten that far.
Okay, and I don't know if you, tennis or not. Is there somebody who's a role model that you try to model either your game or your style after?
My parents.
Okay.
They're really hardworking, and they like put in like a lot of like love and work into what they do, and try to just make everything better.
So, other than your parents, anybody else who's influenced you along your tennis career?
Not my tennis career, because I haven't played for that long since I started in 5th grade. I just started because I wanted to like play a sport. So
Excellent. Coaches that you would like to give credit to that's helped get you here?
obviously Coach Woods, and then back at Spark I had like Coach Sean and Coach Ben. They've been coaching me for most of my tennis career, so
Excellent.
yeah.
We'll give you the famous walk-up song. Do you have anything that in your mind that you want to come out to the court? Like if they do, all the lights are flashing and we send you out in the court.
I'm not really big on music, but like I think maybe like a Pitbull song. I don't know. I feel like it's very just exciting and upbeat, so maybe that.
Okay, and something that you've learned through athletics or tennis that you can apply to the classroom.
I would also say perseverance, because I think in tennis, matches can get long, it can get tiring and stressful, and then I feel like it could be said about school too. So definitely mental, keeping like a high positive mindset about what you're going and like trying to make things better.
And finally, I'm going to ask the miss question a little different. What are you going to miss the most about the seniors that are leaving?
Like their laughter, like how they would like encourage our team, like no matter like whether we're losing or winning, they would just always be there. Like I could see them like behind the fence and everything, like words of like motivation and everything.
Excellent, excellent. Savannah, last but certainly not least, present or former teammate who you've learned the most from?
Definitely Maria Cummings. She's like a very fun person, and she just has a really good personality. So yeah.
Good. And we talked a little bit of this. What got your grandmother got you started in tennis? What was her motivating piece to get you into tennis?
She used to play, or she still does actually, but yeah, so she just got me into it. I didn't really have a choice. So.
Okay. Shout out to your grandma.
Yeah.
Other sports and or activities you do at the high school?
I just do band. That's it.
Okay. What instrument?
The flute.
The flute. Perfect. Favorite moments, now you've only been in high school for 2 years. Favorite moments of high school and favorite moments overall for your whole tennis career since you've been playing since you were 3?
Definitely our match last year before the Final Four, watching Shubhangi play. She had like a really, was it against, who did we
Was
play?
it Watertown?
Watertown,
Yeah.
I think. And we've always had battles with Watertown, and her match was like 3 hours long, and it was like the last match playing we were all watching. Yeah, it was just good.
Okay. Was that home or away?
It was home.
Favorite athlete? Is there a favorite tennis player since you played for a long time? You model their game after?
Yeah, I really look up to Coco Gauff. We have like a very similar playing style.
Okay, good. People who have influenced you. I know we've talked about your grandmother. Who are other influences in your tennis career?
Does it have to be like someone who plays tennis?
No, could be anybody.
Definitely my brother. He's just like a really good athlete, and I look up to him.
Okay, name?
Carl Beatrice.
There you go. Funny part, I coach with Carl, and I've coached Carl since he was a young kid too. So, other coaches you want to credit?
Definitely all the coaches at Woodbury Racket Club. My coach, his name is Balti, and Coach Woods.
Okay. Walk-up song, if you have one.
Maybe like Starships by Nicki Minaj. That's a good
All
song.
right. And then something you've learned playing tennis that you can apply to the classroom.
Definitely motivation. And like individual work, since I've always played singles by myself, and you can't really rely on other people to do work in school. Like, you just have to do it by yourself. So yeah.
Okay, so if you play doubles, who would your doubles partner be?
Ali Diarco.
Okay. And then what are you going to miss the most about the seniors?
Maybe their like enthusiasm as a team. Like, even if they're not on varsity, it doesn't matter. Like, they all support us. They're all welcoming to the younger kids.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right, now comes this chance I give you to shout out to anyone you want. Make sure you don't forget your parents, because I've had players just forget their parents and shout out some crazy things. So here's what's going to happen. My two friends here on the couch are going to look straight into that camera, and Savannah, you'll look straight into that camera. And are we ready to go? So Shubhangi, you're first.
Shout out to my parents, shout out to my brother, and shout out to Coach Woods.
Jaslene?
Shout out to my parents as well, Coach Woods, my siblings, Janice and Jeffrey.
Okay, and Savannah?
Coach Woods, my parents, my grandmother, and my brother.
Perfect. It's been great to have you on here. You do a great job representing Wilmington, the community in general. I know that the ADing room talks about we are like the front porch. Athletics are the front porch of our community, and it's great to have you guys on the show, and I really appreciate you coming in. So again, it's Shubhangi, and it's Jaslene, and it's Savannah, our Wilmington High School girls tennis captains for this spring of 2025. Like I said, thanks for coming on. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for Wildcat Sports Update, I'm your host, Jim Boyle, and we'll see you on down the road.